Greetings. Now, why am I showing you a slide sorter that shows a presentation of a lot of slides with a black background and about 200 such slides too? 200 such slides that each have a black background. Well, this is part of our high-tech learning series because this is the presentation that contains all the quotes that you see at the beginning of this video. And if I put all of these quotes together in a single reel, that can enable you to learn about a wide range of literature and internalize a lot of quotes with very little effort. And in the spirit of our high-tech learning series, this video is about the instructions of how to get the most out of that quote reel, which I have posted immediately after this video. So these two videos actually go hand in hand and are a two-parter in a way. Now, why would you want to internalize these quotes? Well, to become very literarily erudite, very educated, one can choose to study literature in college, and even then you'll have to specialize in either Western literature or international literature, or even specialize in Eastern literature, and that could consume your entire bachelor's degree, when in fact a bachelor's degree should be focused on something far more pragmatic and holistic, such as engineering. But we are going to speed up the intake through which you can gain a lot of literary education, and also some very useful tools that you can access on demand in a wide variety of settings. If you memorize most of these quotes, and they span both ancient and modern times and everything in between, and Western as well as Eastern philosophers, and also everything in between, India, Middle East, so forth. By having these quotes on demand, you can utter them verbally where appropriate. Don't do too much of that because it'll be obvious that you just went out of your way to memorize a lot of quotes. But if you do it sporadically and not very often and not with the same people, you will quickly impress a lot of people with how much you know about the literature of the world. You can also boost your career if you put these in written documents where appropriate. And you'll get a feel for when this is appropriate and when it might be overkill. But in general, this is a way to learn a lot about deep literary traditions. And after you get all these quotes internalized, you will see a pattern of wisdom that emerges from them, and you will experience the world with more wisdom than before. So I have about 200 quotes in that quote reel, and 5 or 6 are also quotes of mine. If you like those, memorize those. If you don't like those, then ignore the ones from me. But the others are from people a lot more well-known, and the instructions for how to learn them very quickly. And remember, on this channel, we have already devised a number of ways to learn things at a much greater rate. I have a video about how to learn world history in only 30 hours, which you can see in this tile up here. I also have a video about how to learn paleontology in a very short time in this video over here, which is a byproduct of Elon Musk's semantic tree, which I also describe on this channel. So the instructions for the quote reel are, number one, obviously watch the quote reel once a day on a large screen. There's no value to watching it more than once a day. It's about 37 minutes long, but watch it once a day. And if you can't do it every day, that's fine, but make sure there's at least 24 hours of interval between each time you watch it. Then the second step is optional. You could choose to play some soft instrumental music that might intake your learning, the type of music that you think is conducive to you learning something in a favorable and efficient environment. Choose whatever you like. I'm not choosing the music for you because different people have different preferences. So that quote reel has no music of its own. You have to play different music of your own choice separately. And then step 3 is to just repeat this process for 30 days, because as you watch the quote reel again and again, more and more will be memorized, and not just the quote itself, but also which type of philosophers give quotes on what type of subjects, and a much more holistic understanding will emerge from all of this. So it is a relatively low effort way to get to a very erudite and learned impression that people will have of you, and there's no downside risk at all. So what I would like to see is if anyone is going through the process of trying to memorize the quote reel under these instructions and what results they're having, and if they have found this to be an efficient learning process. These steps are a simplified down way through which one can learn a series of quotes like this in the most efficient possible manner, based on the research that I've done about how people learn things quickly and all of my experience at teaching at Stanford University and elsewhere. So with that, these were the instructions for the quote reel. So I hope you find the quote reel to be useful and enjoyable, and that you can internalize those quotes in various aspects of your life. Thank you for watching.